Hey, Soul Stories fam. We've got a swoon-worthy love story for you today. Let's jump in and tell us, what city are you watching from? The 45th floor boardroom of Cooper Group on a June morning. The glass wall offered a sweeping view of the sunlit city of Stamford. Inside, the air was tight as a bowstring. At the head of the long walnut table, Ryan Cooper, his face like steel, his dark suit crisp and flawless, was presenting an expansion plan to bring the hotel chain into the Middle East. Every word was sharp, firm, and commanding, leaving no choice but for everyone to nod in agreement. Yet before he finished his sentence, a sudden wave of dizziness struck. The world spun before his eyes, faces below him warped like a shattered mirror. His chair tipped back, and Ryan buckled, one hand bracing hard against the table for balance. The room erupted. Some people rushed forward, others just stared. "Mr. Cooper, are you all right?" a panicked voice called out. At the far end of the table, Lucas, his half-brother, crossed his arms and smirked. "Perhaps my brother is just being dramatic." Ryan clenched his jaw and forced himself upright. His green eyes stayed icy, though his breathing was heavy. "I'm fine. Continue." No one dared say another word. An hour later, Ryan's sleek black car sped straight into the underground lot of a familiar private hospital. This wasn't the first time. For months, he had been coming here, undergoing rounds of tests and scans. Each time, Doctor, Harris had only said, "Probably stress. Get some rest." But the dizzy spells were coming more often, and after this morning's collapse, he knew he couldn't put it off any longer. The next day in his private consultation room, Dr. Harris walked in, face grave, a thick file in hand. He sat across from Ryan, his voice heavy. "Mr. Cooper, we've compiled all the results from the past months. The dizziness, fatigue, loss of balance, along with the scans and neurological indices. I'm sorry, but the diagnosis is clear." Ryan said nothing. He had prepared himself for bad news, yet his heart still dropped when he heard the next three words. Neurodegeneration. Rare, rapidly progressive, incurable. The room froze. "How long?" His voice was low, hoarse but steady. The doctor met his eyes with pity. "About 3 years, maybe less." Ryan leaned back in his chair, staring at the ceiling, expressionless. All his life, he had never allowed himself to appear weak before anyone. Not today either. But inside, a fissure was spreading. Night fell. Stamford glittered outside, but Ryan's penthouse lay dim, lit only by the golden glow of a desk lamp. He stood before the floor-to-ceiling glass, a whiskey glass in hand, eyes fixed on the stream of cars below, their lights meaningless specks. 3 years. He repeated the number over and over, 3 years shorter than a single hotel project. He thought of his father, the man who had built Cooper Group from nothing. He thought of his own years spent expanding the empire worldwide. And then another image came. Lucas. Lucas, Evelyn's son, his stepmother's darling. Charming, silver-tongued, yet a lifetime of scandals and waste. Evelyn had always coddled him, shielding him, while subtly undermining Ryan. If Ryan died without a rightful heir, everything would fall into Lucas's hands. Cooper hotels would quickly become a plaything, or worse, prey for others to swallow whole. Ryan's hand tightened around the glass, veins standing out. A cold resolve took shape. He needed a child, someone to carry the Cooper name. Not for show, not for love, but to protect this legacy from Lucas and Evelyn. He set the glass down, eyes locked on his reflection in the window. A powerful, successful man, yet now staring down a death sentence. He knew he could not waste a single remaining day. His voice rumbled low, escaping as a vow. "Before my time runs out, I will have an heir." The city lights reflected his tense face, with green eyes that were deep and unyielding. In that darkness, Ryan Cooper made his decision, a decision that would change his life forever. Night fell over Stamford. Harborview Hotel, the crown jewel of the Cooper chain, glowed brilliantly, its grand lobby transformed into a sea of golden lights and dazzling gowns. Tonight was the annual charity gala, where the elite flaunted jewelry while competing in donations to prove their status. Ryan Cooper entered, tall and commanding, his tailored black suit framing a hard, athletic build. His gaze swept over the crowd, cold as a blade slicing the air. Instantly, guests flocked toward him, their voices dripping with honey. "Mr. Cooper, such an honor." "Mr. Cooper, my wife has always dreamed of staying at Cooper Resort Maldives." He nodded slightly, answering with brief words. His smile was polite but distant, enough to keep everyone at arm's length. In the corner, Mia Sanders staggered under the weight of a tray of red wine. The tray was nearly larger than her slender frame, glasses crammed together, liquid shimmering with every step. Mia muttered to herself, "This is the fanciest gig I'll ever work. Don't spill. Don't spill." Fate, however, had other plans. A guest spun suddenly, bumping her arm. The tray tilted, and whoosh! A deep crimson cascade spilled all over Ryan Cooper's sleek black suit. The room froze. The music seemed to cut off. Every eye turned toward him and the petite waitress. The air tightened. They all braced for an explosion. They had seen Ryan destroy people for mistakes 100 times smaller. Mia stood frozen, her heart pounding. She stared at the ruined suit, streaked with red like abstract art, and swallowed hard. She should have trembled, bowed, begged forgiveness, but somehow her mouth blurted out something absurdly awkward and life-saving. "Sorry, I didn't mean to dye you red." A few muffled chuckles escaped from the guests. Ryan's icy eyes dropped to her, pinning her in place. Mia bit her lip, struggling not to drop the rest of the tray. I'll pay for the cleaning, or I'll get you a new bottle of wine." "Fair trade," she mumbled, then blinked and added, "Actually, this color kind of suits you. Looks artistic." The audacious remark made a few onlookers widen their eyes. Who dared tease Ryan Cooper? Ryan stayed silent for a long beat. The silence was so heavy that everyone thought he was about to order her fired on the spot. But instead, the corner of his mouth twitched so slightly it was almost invisible. His voice came low, firm. "It's just a suit. Go clean up." Mia blinked. "You're not mad. What would you have me do? Yell in the middle of the gala?" Ryan replied, his eyes sweeping the crowd of gawkers. "I don't have time to be their entertainment." He drew a white handkerchief from his pocket, calmly blotting the stain as if nothing had happened. Then he held out another handkerchief to Mia. "Keep it. Be more careful next time." His fingers brushed hers. A strange jolt of electricity ran through her, and she quickly pulled back, whispering, "Thank you, and I'm sorry." Ryan didn't answer, just gave a slight nod before walking away, leaving a trail of whispers behind. Backstage, Mia exhaled like she'd escaped death. A coworker hissed, "God, you're insane! Talking to him like that and you're still employed?" Mia shrugged and sighed. Being scared wouldn't have saved me anyway. Better to die with dignity than tremble and die all the same. Meanwhile, Ryan stood at the bar, slipping into a fresh shirt that his assistant Mara had brought. His thoughts wandered, eyes drifting toward the back of the stage where the clumsy waitress fumbled with the cleanup. Something about her was different. He was used to fake faces, calculated smiles, rehearsed apologies. But this girl is clumsy, bold, and disarmingly frank. She wasn't trying to curry favor. She wasn't so terrified that she groveled. Ryan's eyes darkened, though somewhere deep inside a faint light flickered. Later, Mia was struggling to carry out a tray of desserts, so flustered she nearly tripped over a socialite's stiletto. This time, Ryan's hand shot out, steadying the tray before it tipped again. Mia looked up, stunned to meet those green eyes at such close range. It's you again," she blurted, then flushed. Ryan set the tray on the table, his voice even. "If your plan is to take me down with dessert, you failed." Mia bit her lip, then laughed. The sound, bright and unguarded, slipped through the elegant music, making Ryan pause. He wasn't used to that sound. Simple, natural, free of calculation. "Thanks for saving the cake," she said, catching her breath. "If I still have a job tomorrow, I'll buy you coffee." "Not red, I swear." Ryan looked at her, his expression unreadable, before turning away with a short reply. "We'll meet again." The ballroom buzzed back to life, but for Ryan, the incident left a strange echo. He never believed in chance encounters, yet this clumsy waitress had etched herself into his memory with nothing more than blunt honesty and a different kind of smile. And Mia, on her way home, shivered at the thought of being fired, yet couldn't help but laugh at the billionaire's calm expression. He's the strangest man I've ever met, but kind of intriguing. Rain drizzled over Stamford that night. In the top floor of the Cooper Tower, the penthouse lights still blazed. Ryan sat in his expansive office, a half-finished financial report glowing on his computer screen. But his mind was far away. The gala replayed in fragments. The crash of wine, the startled eyes of the waitress, and above all, her awkward yet disarming line. "Sorry, I didn't mean to dye you red." Leaning back in his chair, Ryan frowned. Over the years, he had met hundreds of beautiful women politicians, artists, and business leaders. All of them knew how to flatter him, how to perform perfection, but that girl was different. Clumsy, blunt, eyes bright even in panic. No pretense. A strange, nameless feeling edged into him. He shook his head and reached for his phone, dialing a familiar number. "Paul." The voice on the other end was deep, crisp, efficient. "Yes, Mr. Cooper. Look into the waitress from tonight's gala. Her name is Mia Sanders." "Understood, sir." By the next morning, before the sunlight had fully poured into the room, a black folder sat neatly on Ryan's desk. He opened it, each page precisely arranged. Name: Mia Sanders, age 26. Family: orphaned at 19. Currently lives with her younger sister, Lily, 16. Occupation: part-time server at Rosie's Diner, also works events at weddings and hotels. Income: low, unstable. Notes: hard-working, independent, no record of legal trouble. Ryan flipped through the file, a candid photo. Mia in a dark apron, hair tied high, balancing 2 plates, smiling warmly at an elderly customer. Beside her was Lily, younger but with the same features, eyes sparkling. His hand tightened around the paper. Orphaned, raising a sister alone, working 3 jobs. He thought of Evelyn and Lucas, leeches of indulgence and scheming. Then of the women who circled him, all skilled at pretending sweetness. And Mia, an ordinary girl, awkward in a ballroom, making no effort to hide it. She didn't belong to his world, but that was precisely what made her stand out. Ryan closed the file, his eyes cold. He wasn't a man easily swept away by emotion. He was accustomed to calculations, logic, and decisions grounded in reason. And reason told him, Mia Sanders was exactly what he needed. A woman who was genuine, without ambition, untouched by webs of power and favors. Someone who wouldn't turn marriage into a bargaining chip. Someone who could give him a child. He looked out the window. Stamford glistened after the rain, rays of sunlight piercing the thick glass. In that moment, his resolve crystallized. This is it. The candidate for a contract wife and the mother of my child. Though decisive, he wasn't blind to the irony. He, a billionaire commanding a hotel empire, was about to negotiate with a waitress. Not with a salary, but with marriage. The thought was bitterly ironic. But death, creeping closer, left no room for delay. He murmured to himself, I don't need love, I need trust, and she might give me that. His hand drummed slowly against the folder. His heart, long trained to remain cold, thudded just a bit faster. Not out of emotion, he told himself, but because this was the move that would decide the future of Cooper Group. Ryan pressed a button. His assistant Mara's voice answered instantly. What do you need, sir? Book me a table at Rosie's Diner. Tonight? A pause, then Mara's voice returned, faintly surprised. Rosie's, the little diner on the east side? Where does that girl work? Yes, Ryan cut her off. No one else is to know. Keep it from the press. Understood, sir. Ryan rose, walking toward the glass wall, his cold eyes fixed on the city glowing below. In his mind, the plan was already forming. He would meet her. He would present the proposal. No frills, no charm. A contract, a marriage, a child. And Mia Sanders? She had no idea her life was about to be pulled into the orbit of one of the most powerful men in America. Not for romance, but for a cold calculation. Rosie's Diner. Evening. The clatter of cutlery echoed through the room, its scent mingling with the aroma of frying oil. Mia was wiping down a table when a tall figure blocked the light. She looked up. Ryan Cooper. That dark suit, those deep green eyes, appeared in the humble diner like a man out of place. "You again," Mia blurted before she could stop herself. Ryan sat down without preamble. "Marry me." Mia nearly choked on her soda, coughing so hard a nearby customer turned in alarm. "Did you drop your brain in the elevator?" Ryan held her gaze, his voice low and steady. "I need a wife. A child. In return, I'll provide for you and your sister for life." The whole diner seemed to thicken with silence. Curious eyes burned into them. Mia stood frozen, then burst out laughing. "You think you're some kind of fairy tale prince? Sorry, I'm too busy to play your fake marriage games." She spun on her heel, heart racing, though her lips muttered, "He's insane." Mia thought that was the end of it. But a few nights later, after her shift, she found Ryan waiting by a sleek black car. "You again," she sighed. "I told you, I'm not part of some billionaire prank." Ryan opened the car door. His voice was firm, dead serious. "Get in. We need to talk." For reasons she couldn't explain, Mia obeyed. Inside, the faint smell of leather lingered. Ryan sat still for a long while, hand on the wheel, face taut. At last he spoke. "I'm sick. Neurodegeneration. 3 years at most. Maybe less." Mia froze, turning toward him. His eyes didn't flinch, calm but shadowed with something heavy, dark. "I don't have much time. I need a wife. A child with the Cooper name is to protect the company from Lucas and his mother. After I'm gone, you'll be free. All I'm asking is that you endure me. 3 years at most." He paused, eyes fixed on the rain-streaked windshield. His voice rasped, low enough to almost drown in the patter of rain. 3 years. In exchange, your sister will have a future. College, a career, a safe life. I guarantee it. Mia's chest tightened. Not at the proposal itself, but at the way he spoke of his death, cold, as if it were just another failed deal. Behind the restraint, she caught a glimpse of crushing despair. "You," Mia whispered, "you really think I'd agree just to wait for you to die?" Ryan turned toward her, green eyes taut with strain. "I don't expect you to love me. I only need one last contract, one chance to protect what belonged to my father. And I chose you because you're not like the others. You're honest and strong, and I believe you'll keep your word." Mia bit her lip. In her mind, Lily was 16, bent over her desk under a dim lamp, chasing her dream of attending medical school. The tuition, the costs, a weight Mia carried alone. Before her sat a dying man, offering a proposal as cold as it was cruel. Yet in his eyes she saw not a billionaire's pride, but the raw truth of someone trapped with no escape. She inhaled sharply, her voice trembling. "All right, I'll do it. But not for you, for Lily." Silence hung between them. Ryan nodded, his gaze softening, though his face stayed hard. "Thank you." Mia turned away with a bitter smile. "This really is the strangest proposal I've ever heard. No ring, no flowers, just a countdown." "But it's real," Ryan said, his tone heavy. That night, Mia held Lily close, whispering, "You'll have a future. I'll do whatever it takes, even if it means marrying a stranger who'll only be beside me for 3 years at most." Meanwhile, Ryan stood at the penthouse window, his cold eyes piercing the glittering city. For the first time in months, his thoughts didn't circle death alone. Something else flickered faintly in the dark, something almost like hope. The wedding happened so fast that Mia barely had time to get used to the feel of the white dress hugging her body. No cathedral, no choir, just the glass rooftop hall of the harbor view. The Cooper chain's signature hotel bathed in noon sunlight. A few dozen close guests, a city official as efficient, and the PR team working hard to keep it low profile yet classy. Mara stood to the side, running through the program one last time. 12 sharp, the ceremony. 12:15, signatures. 12:20, photos, then straight down to the banquet. No press allowed. The bride's sister in the front row. Mia glanced at the seats. Lily wore an old blue dress, but Mia had tied her hair up neatly and her eyes sparkled. Catching her sister's gaze, the girl flashed 2 fingers. "You okay?" Mia nodded slightly, gripping her small bouquet. Her heart still raced to the beat. "This is real. This is a wedding, and the groom is a billionaire." Ryan arrived at exactly 12. Black tailored suit, perfect tie, his face as cold as the glass behind him. He stopped beside Mia, close enough for her to catch a trace of his cologne. No flowery words, just a low question. "Ready?" Mia swallowed. "I guess I have to be." The officiant smiled professionally, opening his folder. "You've both read the terms? Good, please face each other." Heels clicked at the edge of the hall. Lucas Blackwood arrived late, deliberately. He leaned against a chair, smile thin as a blade. Evelyn followed, head held high, coat immaculate, her glance at Mia the way one might inspect a tablecloth for quality. The officiant was midway through. "If anyone objects, speak now." When Lucas gave a sharp sniff, speaking loudly enough for the front rows to hear. "My brother marrying a waitress? Better buy more silver trays. Keep things in their place." A chill swept through the crowd. Evelyn tilted her head, silent, but her lips curved ever so slightly. Mia turned to Lucas, smiling coolly. "Great idea. I'll order 2. 1 for the wedding, 1 to catch any rude remarks before they dirty your family's shiny floors." A few guests snickered. Lucas stiffened, eyes dark. Ryan didn't smile, but Mia saw his jaw unclench, tension easing by half a notch. The ceremony continued. The rings lay in a black velvet box. When Mara handed hers over, Mia nearly dropped it. She blinked, whispering just for Ryan. "Too smooth. My hands are shaking." "It's fine," he murmured without looking at her. He extended his left hand, steady as stone. "Take your time." Mia slipped the ring on. It slid into place like a tiny dot on a massive page. When it was Ryan's turn, Mia inhaled sharply. His hand was warm, firm, unwavering. The moment the ring touched her skin, she heard Lily's soft, "Yeah," from the front row. Her heart melted just a little. The officiant read the shortened vows. "By the authority of the state, I now pronounce." A sharp female voice cut in. "Evelyn, 1 question. Do you know our Cooper family doesn't accept daughters-in-law beneath our class?" The air dropped. Mara frowned. Guests exchanged glances. Lucas leaned back, smirking, waiting for Mia's stumble. Mia kept her spine straight, turning deliberately. "I know, but I also know state law allows adults to marry by choice." She tilted her head, polite to the point of mockery. "As for class, all I know is working 10 hours a day, paying rent on time, keeping my sister in school. If your class is something different from those 3, then I suppose I haven't learned it yet." Laughter rippled through the crowd, louder this time, genuine. Evelyn faltered for half a beat before reclaiming her graceful smile, fingers tightening on her purse strap. Lucas hissed, "You!" Ryan's voice cut low but firm. "Enough!" 2 words and silence fell. The officiant, relieved, hurried on. "I now pronounce you husband and wife." Applause rose, not thunderous but solid. Lily clutched her bouquet, tears shining. Mia looked at Ryan. He didn't kiss her like in the movies. Instead, he set a steady hand on her back, a wordless promise. "Stand tall. I'm here." The banquet followed immediately, tables laden with food, though Mia managed only a bite. Congratulations rained down like hail. "Congrats. You're perfect together. You're so lucky." Surrounded by glossy smiles, Mia felt like she was swimming in salt water. The more she smiled, the thirstier she became. Lucas approached with a glass of wine, all fake charm. "New sister-in-law probably isn't used to fine wine. Shall I pour you some water instead?" Mia's eyes gleamed. "Sure, pour me water. I like staying clear-headed. That way, if someone says something stupid, I'll remember to correct it." Lucas sputtered into his glass. Mia sipped water sweet as honey. "Don't worry. First day as a Cooper, I'll go easy on the silver trays." From afar, Evelyn spoke with a banker's wife, but her measuring glances kept sliding to Mia. She finally approached, voice smooth as milk but barbed in every word. "Your wedding dress is So simple. I take it no one sponsored it? Mia fingered the neat hem of her gown, chuckling. You're right. I paid myself. Easier to breathe this way, and I saved the rest for my sister's tuition. Besides, I hear simple is in style now. You might give it a try. A group of younger guests stifled laughter. Evelyn's composure cracked for half a second before her polished mask returned. Your wit is sharp. Work too much, you learn to joke a little, just to stay alive. Mia replied lightly, still polite. Ryan appeared at her side like a shadow. He set his glass down, eyes fixed on Evelyn. I think the bride deserves peace tonight. Evelyn smiled. I was only conversing. Enough! His tone was calm but absolute. Mother and son's eyes locked in a silent, icy clash. Lucas's smirk died. Mara stepped in at just the right moment, the perfect firefighter. Would the bride and groom step onto the balcony for sunset photos? On the balcony, cool bay breezes swept around them. The city glowed golden in the fading light, sailboats drifting in the distance. The noise of the banquet faded, leaving only faint clinks of glasses. Mia exhaled, shoulders relaxing for the first time all day. She leaned on the railing, breathing deeply. I think I survived the mother-in-law and brother-in-law trial. Ryan stood beside her, hands in his pockets, eyes on the horizon. They won't stop. I know. But I'm not afraid. If I can say it, I can take it. He tilted his head, studying her longer than usual. If they cross the line, tell me. Mia arched a brow. You'll defend me? I protect what's mine, he answered simply. Silence fell, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Mia pressed her lips together, teasing softly. So from now on, I'm yours? Ryan didn't flinch. My wife. 2 plain words, no sweetness. Yet in the balcony wind, they landed solidly. Mia blinked, then smiled. Fine. Your wife. But your wife will still speak up when people are wrong. I know. You're not embarrassed? No. The sliding door opened. Lily poked her head out. Sis, they're calling for the cake. And, she glanced shyly at Ryan. Brother-in-law. For the first time all day, Ryan's eyes softened. Yes. Lily rushed in, hugging Mia tight before running back inside. Mia watched her, eyes glistening. She turned to Ryan, whispering, Thank you. For Lily. Ryan replied so quietly it was almost to himself. For both of you. They walked back into the hall together. The doors closed, and the noise of the crowd surged once more. But in Mia's chest, a post had been driven deep. In this glittering world, there was a hand steady at her back, telling her to keep walking straight. At the front, Evelyn adjusted her necklace and Lucas refilled his glass. The undercurrents churned. But the whirlwind wedding was done. The rings on their hands and the contract bride had already proved she wouldn't go down easily. Tomorrow would bring another battle. Tonight, they cut the cake, and Mia's smile was real, not for the cameras, but because she had stood her ground. After the whirlwind wedding, Mia and Ryan's lives entered a new phase. No longer strangers in a ballroom, but 2 people forced to share the same roof. And as Ryan had said on their very first night in the penthouse, this is a contract. Don't expect anything else. Mia had only smirked then, thinking, fine, a contract. But what kind of contract comes with a ring I can't take off? The next morning, when she opened the fridge to grab breakfast, Mia froze. On the door was a sheet of A4 paper, handwriting neat as print. Dinner, 7:30 p.m. Tutor Lily in math, 8:30 to 9:15 p.m., Monday to Thursday. Exercise, 6 a.m., optional. Rule, do not enter the office when the door is shut. Mia burst out laughing. Wow, marrying a billionaire is basically signing an extended lease. But when she opened the fridge, she stopped short. The top shelf was packed with her favorites: peach yogurt, a box of strawberries, and even the exact brand of kimchi Rosie's diner used. Each item bore a small handwritten note, cold but almost comical. For Lily, milk 1 carton in the morning. Don't eat strawberries on an empty stomach. Mia smiled softly. Calls it a contract, but stocks the fridge like a love letter? At 8:30 that evening, Ryan sat at the long table in the living room. In front of him, a math book, clean paper, and pens aligned. Lily fidgeted, twirling her pen. "Where are you stuck?" Ryan asked in his deep voice. "Mixed numbers," Lily whispered. He took the pen, his digits precise. "Don't see it as a monster. It's just division. Convert to improper fractions. Simplify. See?" Lily nodded eagerly. "I get it now." Mia rested her chin in her hand, watching him like he was some college professor. Well, well. CEO Cooper's secret talent for tutoring? Without looking up, Ryan said flatly, "Sit up straight. Your sister's watching your posture." Mia startled and straightened. Lily giggled. Then all three laughed together. The air for once felt easy. The next night, Mia curled up on the sofa under a blanket, watching a cooking show. The host ladled out steaming beef stew, rattling off recipes. Ryan walked by, and without a word switched the channel to finance news. "Hey, I was learning beef stew," Mia protested. "The report's only 7 minutes. And the stew will only stay in my brain for 7 minutes." They stared each other down, remote, the weapon of a Cold War. Finally, Ryan yielded. "Every night, you get 20 minutes, preferably for dishes with peach yogurt." Mia grinned. "Deal! And you'll eat the stew after your report." Ryan only grunted, but the edge of his mouth eased. One night, Mia was sniffling under the blanket, eyes watery. "Great. Guess the contract needs a sick day clause now." Ryan passed by, tossing out, "Go to bed early," then disappeared into his office. Mia pouted. "Robot." 10 minutes later, the door cracked open. He set down a steaming mug of ginger tea, a few pills, and a note. "Drink. Sleep. -R." Mia held the cup, warmth fogging her eyes. Classic says one thing, does another. That weekend, Mia brought home a tiny basil plant and placed it on the balcony. "Every home needs some green. Smells good, and you can eat it too." Ryan glanced over and shook his head. "High-rise wins. Small pot. Won't survive." "Then I'll shield it," Mia huffed, hugging the pot. The next day, a clear glass windscreen appeared neatly installed on the balcony. Mia chuckled, scribbling a label on the pot. "Basil. Do not touch." Ryan passed by, read it, and nodded. "No one will touch it." One evening, Mia proudly cooked soup, but after a taste, her face twisted. "Oh no, too salty." Ryan tried a spoonful, face unchanged. "It's fine. Fine. Salty. Fine to eat." He calmly turned down the heat, added broth, and sprinkled scallions. In minutes, the soup was perfect. Mia gawked. "Where'd you learn that? Hotel kitchens aren't just for show. And yet you keep saying, this is a contract." Ryan set down the ladle, meeting her eyes. "The contract says I'll take care of you and Lily. Making food edible counts as taking care." Mia fell silent, her heart skipping lightly. Then one rainy night, the fire alarm blared. Red lights flashed, and a voice over the PA said, "Please evacuate via stairs." Mia scrambled to grab Lily's coat. Ryan was already at the door, draping his trench coat over Mia's shoulders, voice firm. "Right side, hold the rail, steady pace." By the 20th floor, an announcement crackled. "This was a scheduled test. Sorry for the inconvenience." Lily giggled in relief. Mia tried to hand back the coat, but Ryan shook his head. "Keep it." She hesitated, then clutched it tighter. "It's warm." And in that moment, amid echoing alarms, Mia felt an unexpected peace. That night, light rain sprinkled against the glass roof of the penthouse. The city below blurred under golden lights, as if a thin veil had been draped across all of Stamford. Lily had gone to bed early for a test the next morning. Her door left ajar, a small strip of orange nightlight spilling into the hallway. Mia carried a bundle of laundry fresh from the dryer into their room. She buried her nose in the clean fabric, inhaled deeply, and laughed to herself. Rich people's fabric softener smells like light sunshine? Cute. She set the clothes on the bed, pulled up a recipe on her phone for creamy chicken she wanted to cook the next day, muttering the steps under her breath as she tied her hair up high. The office door opened quietly. Ryan stepped out, shirt buttoned to the collar, watch still on his wrist, eyes heavier than usual. He stopped at their bedroom doorway, rapping politely on the frame. a gesture so formal it was almost funny in his own home. "You're still up?" Mia looked up. "Reading recipes. Tomorrow I'm cooking something with cream. Are you okay with that?" "Fine." His tone was as flat as approving a budget line. He walked in slowly, lingering at the foot of the bed like waiting for a silent wave to pass. "I feel a little dizzy," he admitted, voice lower and rougher than usual. Mia quickly set her phone aside and hurried over. "Sit down." She reached for his elbow, intending to guide him toward the edge of the bed. But in that split second, things slipped out of control. Ryan tilted, his foot catching the rug, his solid frame pitching forward. Mia's instincts kicked in. She grabbed him. His forehead skimmed her hair, his nose brushed her cheek, and then, warm, soft, unexpected, their lips touched, just for as long as the rain slapped the glass. They froze. Mia's eyes flew wide, staring straight into those green ones at breast length. Ryan immediately stepped back, hand bracing on the dresser, throat moving. "Sorry," he said at once, calm but uncharacteristically flustered. "Side effect of the meds." Mia blinked, then blurted the kind of thing that always saved her when the air grew too heavy. "Yeah, must have been the doctor prescribing kiss pills." The tension cracked like thin glass. Ryan drew in a breath, the frozen lake of his gaze rippling faintly. He didn't smile, but his shoulders eased. "You okay?" Mia asked, this time holding his wrist instead of his whole weight, a smaller, gentler touch. "Fine," Ryan said. Then his eyes met hers, voice low. "I didn't mean to." "I know," Mia answered softly. "I'm not offended, just surprised. And, well, I don't hate it." The last words were so small they felt like a secret. Ryan stood still. The rain drummed steadily outside. The AC hummed. Silence filled the space between them like water settling in a glass. "You can let go now," Ryan said, glancing at his wrist. His tone wasn't sharp, just quiet, sincere. "Oh." Mia let go quickly, then laughed at herself. "Sorry, forgot." She stepped back. He stepped back. Distance restored, but safe didn't feel quite right anymore. Mia's heart thumped like it had on the wedding balcony when the man beside her had said, "My wife." She cleared her throat. "Want ginger tea?" Ryan shook his head, then oddly nodded. "Maybe I should." Mia turned to go, but her feet stalled. She stood a beat too long, weighing something intangible. When she glanced back, Ryan hadn't moved either. He stood in the warm light, hand on the dresser, eyes steady on hers, neither retreating nor advancing. "Ryan," she whispered, as though afraid to wake someone. "I'm not afraid." "Of what?" "You. And this so-called contract." He tilted his head. "We have an agreement. I'll keep it." "I know." Mia pressed her lips together. "But I also have the right to change my mind, don't I?" Ryan said nothing. His gaze deepened, the room itself seeming to fade back. "What are you saying, Mia?" "That maybe we stop calling it by name." She smiled faintly, eyes bright. "I'm not good at names." 1 second. 2. Then Ryan stepped closer, slow enough for her to step away if she wanted. She didn't. He stopped right before her, a breath apart, like during the stumble, but without the rush. "I need you to be clear," he said carefully. "Mia, we have a deal. I won't cross a line you're not ready for. But I must be honest, I don't have much time. Having a child," he paused, voice dropping, "was the purpose we both agreed to. If tonight you're not ready, I'll stop right here." Mia rose slightly on her toes, whispering, "I want to. I choose this." This time there was no stumble. Ryan lifted a hand, cupping the back of her neck as if it were fragile glass. He bent slowly, so slowly she could hear the rain shifting on the panes. The kiss landed warm, steady, unapologetic. Mia closed her eyes, letting go. Against his chest, she felt his heartbeat. Uneven, but close. She wrapped her arms around him, pulling him near, close enough that no contract could wedge between them. They edged toward the bed, the lamp dimmed with a touch. Outside, the city still shone, but curtains closed the world away. Rules, timetables, terms, they stayed outside. Inside, only breath tangled, a button fell softly to the sheets, the clean scent of fabric blending with cologne and ginger. No words were needed. When they reached for each other as if it had been long arranged, everything felt natural. Ryan was careful, asking with his eyes before each step. Mia answered with a nod, a kiss, a hand pulling him closer. Barriers fell quietly. At one point, she even laughed softly, like a raindrop tapping glass. Guess the kiss pills work. Ryan exhaled, almost to laugh himself, burying his face in the curve of her neck, not to hide, but to rest. For once, the looming 3 years at most faded behind the wall of night. Tomorrow it would return, but for now they let themselves drift on warmth, speaking not in words, but in touches. When the room finally quieted, the rain had nearly stopped. The city slowed outside like a tired beast. Mia lay on her side, hair spilling over the pillow, breath even. Ryan lay on his back, one arm behind his head, the other wrapped protectively around her waist. The absurdly tender pose of a man who always said, "This is a contract." Half awake, Mia murmured, "Still dizzy?" After a pause, Ryan said, "Better." He turned his head, not avoiding this time. "Thank you." "For what?" she mumbled into his shoulder. "For choosing. And for not laughing at my clumsiness." Mia chuckled softly. "I did laugh, but not to mock, to make it lighter." She tilted her head up. "Ryan, if someday you're afraid, tell me. I'm no doctor, but I can make ginger tea, and I know how to hold a hand." Ryan looked at her for a long moment. In the dark, his green eyes weren't sharp, but deep and warm, like a still lake. "All right," he said. "I'll tell you." Mia nodded off, drifting into sleep. Just before she was gone, she heard a whisper, so faint she wasn't sure if it was real or a dream. "Sleep, my wife." The next morning, sunlight crept past the curtains. Ryan's phone buzzed. Mara's meeting schedule. He silenced it. Mia stirred, tugging the blanket higher. "What time is it?" "Not 7 yet," Ryan answered, his voice lower, softer than any morning before. He dressed, fastening his buttons. At the doorway, he paused. "Sleep more." "I'll make breakfast." Mia cracked one eye, smiling lazily. "Breakfast? By contract or by kiss pills?" Ryan stood a beat. "By taking care of each other." Then left. Mia buried her face in the pillow, grinning to herself, listening to pans clatter in the kitchen. On the nightstand, the ring glittered in the sunlight. She brushed it with her finger, a strange peace filling her chest. If anyone asked what changed last night, she'd say simply, tension turned into sweet awkwardness, and awkwardness into belonging. In the living room, Ryan opened the fridge. A peach yogurt sat in its usual place, beside the old note, "For Lily milk, 1 carton in the morning." He smiled quietly to himself, pouring milk into a glass. Breakfast began like any other, eggs, toast, fruit, except for one difference. They now spoke a new language, shorter than terms, longer than sorry, the language of a touch, a look, a small promise. And in that high-rise home, their half-cold, half-warm marriage tilted quietly, gently toward warm. Loving this story. This story belongs to Soul Stories. If you see it anywhere else, please come back to our official channel to enjoy it in full. 1 month after the wedding, the Cooper family hosted a cozy dinner at Evelyn's mansion. Of course, in her vocabulary, cozy meant a tightly controlled event, where every glass of wine was poured to the exact line and every tablecloth folded into perfect squares. Mia wore a simple navy dress she had chosen herself from a modest shop. She didn't have a personal designer like the other women there, but her face glowed and her eyes shone with quiet confidence. Ryan had allowed Lily to join as well. The girl sat at a side table, eyes wide with wonder as she nibbled and took in every lavish detail of the mansion. Ryan sat upright, expression cold, posture flawless like a polished mirror. He knew tonight was nothing more than Evelyn and Lucas staging a public evaluation. Evelyn raised her glass, eyes narrowing, her voice soft but pitched just enough for those nearby to hear. Remarkable, really. A waitress was seated at the Cooper table, quite bold, A few small false laughs fluttered around the table. All eyes turned to Mia. Mia blinked unruffled, even quirking an impish brow. "I'm surprised myself, Mother Evelyn. Just one spilled tray of wine, and somehow I became a billionaire's wife." The table fell silent for a beat, then a few younger guests burst into stifled giggles. Evelyn faltered, fingers tightening on her glass, her smile thin as a blade. Ryan tilted his head slightly, lips pressing together to mask the flicker of amusement. He wasn't used to this kind of quick, witty pushback, but he found Mia's boldness intriguing. Dinner carried on, dish after dish arriving. When Ryan stepped away to speak with a few shareholders, Lucas casually slipped to Mia's side, leaning close so only she could hear. "Do you even know what you are? A tool. Once my brother gets what he wants, a child, you'll be tossed aside like a wine-stained napkin." Mia turned her head, meeting his gaze without a trace of fear. Her lips curved in a cool smile. "Thanks for the reminder. But you've got it backwards. A stained napkin can be washed clean. It's the messy eater you can't scrub." Lucas's face flushed dark, his fake grin crumbling. He clenched his jaw but had no chance to retort. Ryan had just returned. Ryan didn't ask what had passed between them. He simply sat beside Mia, silent, but rested his hand on the back of her chair. A small move, but one Lucas couldn't miss. Mia felt it, that subtle shield. Her heart gave a faint tremor. Outwardly, Ryan stayed detached, but inside a fire smoldered. "This is my wife. No one humiliates her." Evelyn's voice cut in again. "Ryan, do you truly think a woman like this can represent our family? Social circles require refinement, not cheap humor." Ryan set his glass down, eyes locking on his stepmother. His voice was calm, but sharp as a knife. "I don't need anyone to represent me. I need someone real, and I've already chosen." The air at the table shifted, thick and suffocating. Evelyn swallowed her retort. Lucas's grip tightened around his knife, but neither dared to press further. After dinner, when the two stepped out onto the stone patio, a cold breeze swept through. Mia drew her shawl tight, exhaling slowly. "You didn't have to say that," she murmured. "It'll only make them hate me more." Ryan stopped, eyes fixed ahead. "They already hate you, but you won't face it alone." Mia blinked, caught off guard. She gave a small, crooked smile. "Sounds like a real husband." Ryan turned, looking at her for a long moment before stating simply, "I am your husband." Her pulse quickened, but she teased with a grin. "Fine. The contract says so." They walked on under golden lamps, their shadows merging on the damp ground. What had begun as a cold contract was slowly warming through small clashes, sharp words, and the kind of simple, unshakable statements that left their mark. Morning in Stamford drizzled with mist, the windows fogged with a pale veil. As Mia brewed ginger tea, the faint smell of Ryan's coffee on the stove turned her stomach. Lately, every morning had been the same, the waves of nausea too strong to ignore. Quietly, she slipped into the bathroom and pulled out a pregnancy test she'd tucked away in the drawer weeks ago. The wait was only a few minutes, yet it felt like a century. She stared, heart pounding, and then 2 red lines appeared, clear and bold. Mia sank to the floor, arms wrapping her still flat belly. A mix of fear and confusion swirled inside her, but beneath it all shimmered a fragile joy. The baby had come. That afternoon, Ryan returned from a long day of meetings. As he loosened his tie, he saw Mia standing in the living room, clutching something in her hand. Her expression was unlike any he'd seen. "Mia, what is it?" he asked, brows furrowed. Silent, she held out the stick. Her voice trembled but held steady. "Look." Ryan took it, eyes locking on the 2 red lines. For one heartbeat, the room froze. Then he burst out laughing, loud and unrestrained, like never before. "We're having a baby! We're having a baby!" He leapt like a boy, running in circles around the living room. Mara, passing in the hall, peeked in wide-eyed. Ryan didn't care. He swept Mia up in his arms and spun her. "Ryan, stop!" "People will think we're having an emergency," she gasped, clinging to his shoulders. Setting her down, his face still blazed brighter than the sun. "Do you know, for the first time in my life, my heart feels like it might explode from joy?" "Thank you, Mia." She shot him a playful glare. You're acting like a kid." "Then let me be a kid. Just once," Ryan panted, eyes shining with uncontainable happiness. The news reached Lily quickly. The perceptive 16-year-old needed only to see their eyes before guessing. When they confirmed, she burst into tears. Not of fear, but of joy. "Sis, I'm going to be an aunt," Lily cried and laughed at once, wiping her cheeks. Ryan hesitated, still not used to her way of addressing him, but then he smiled gently. "You'll be the best aunt in the world." Lily straightened, voice older than her years. "I'll help you take care of the baby. I've babysat the neighbor's kids. I know how to hold a newborn." Mia hugged her little sister tight, eyes wet. Ryan watched the two, a sensation rising in him he had never known before. This wasn't just an heir. This was family. The next morning, Ryan drove Mia to the hospital himself. He needed to see and hear it with his own senses. In the ultrasound room, a tiny flicker appeared on the black screen. The doctor smiled. "That's the heartbeat. 6 weeks old. Very strong." The sound filled the room. Fast, steady, thump, thump, thump. Ryan froze, his hand trembling until it found Mia's. He whispered, voice breaking, "That's ours." Mia nodded, eyes glistening. Ryan tried to hold back, but tears spilled. The man who had never broken in front of countless deals now cried over a single fragile heartbeat. He lowered his forehead to her hand resting on her belly. "It's not just an heir. It's my family." From that day, Ryan turned into a rookie dad-to-be. He taped a chart on the fridge labeled "safe to eat" / "not safe to eat." Every morning, he set a warm glass of milk in front of Mia, tapping it like an overseer. One day, Mia casually muttered, "I'm craving mangoes." That evening, Ryan came home with a crate of golden mangoes stacked across the counter. "You bought the whole market?" Mia gawked. "I bought enough so you'll never run out," he said simply, eyes bright. She groaned, half annoyed, half amused. "Are you a CEO or a fruit vendor now?" Ryan shrugged. "As long as it makes you smile." That night, when Mia struggled to sleep, Ryan sat beside her, resting a hand on her belly and whispering, "Hello, little one. It's Dad. Just grow strong. I'll handle the rest." Mia smiled softly, but she noticed behind the daylight joy, shadows still lingered in his eyes. Later, as she held his hand, Ryan finally admitted in a hoarse whisper, "I just wish I can live long enough to see you born, to hear you call me Dad, to watch you grow." Mia squeezed his hand, throat tight. "You will. I believe it, and so will our baby." For the first time, Ryan didn't deflect with coldness. He simply pressed a kiss to her forehead, silent but filled with resolve. Another night, when Mia couldn't sleep, Ryan tried singing a lullaby. His deep voice was rough, the tune hopelessly off, making Mia clutch her pillow in laughter. "You're terrible at this," she teased between giggles, "but it feels warm." Awkward, Ryan chuckled too, bending close to murmur, "Doesn't have to be good. As long as you feel safe, that's enough." And in that moment, Mia understood. Love wasn't grand promises or dramatic vows. It was the simple sight of a cold billionaire fumbling clumsily just to keep his family at peace. That evening, Stamford's air was heavy with rain. Mia went downstairs to grab a bottle of orange juice for Lily when familiar footsteps echoed in the hallway. She froze at the sight of Lucas, phone pressed to his ear, voice low but clear enough in the stillness. "Yeah, that's right. The girl's pregnant. Ryan's over the moon, acting like he's won the lottery. His whole attitude has changed. Nothing like the gloomy wreck he used to be. Looks like our fake illness plan is shot to hell." Mia went cold. The chilled bottle shook in her hand. Pressing her back to the wall, she held her breath. Dr. Harris swore it was solid. 3 years max, he said. "Now look, Ryan's healthy, full of energy. If this continues, he'll never hand over the company to me. We'll need another plan." Her pulse raced. She turned and hurried upstairs, forcing herself not to make a sound. Ryan sat at the desk, laptop open, but his eyes unfocused. He looked up when he saw her pale face. "Mia, what's wrong?" She drew in a shaky breath, then spilled it out. "I just heard Lucas on the phone. He said, your illness is fake, that Dr. Harris was part of some scheme. Ryan, you might not be sick at all. Ryan shot to his feet, the chair groaning. His eyes flickered between shock and disbelief. Are you sure? I heard it myself. He said it clearly. Fake illness plan. Mia clutched his sleeve, voice trembling. Ryan went rigid. The room seemed to lose all its air. He swallowed hard, then growled. Tomorrow I'm getting tested again. Somewhere else. No, Harris. The next morning, Ryan drove himself to a private hospital outside Stamford. Only Mia knew, no one else. She sat beside him, her heart pounding. Inside the consultation room, Dr. Patel, a middle-aged man with silver-rimmed glasses, flipped through the fresh test results. He tapped his pen against the brain scans. Mr. Cooper, I don't see any signs of neurodegenerative disease as your previous records suggested. Your numbers are all within normal range. The dizziness and fatigue are primarily due to stress, overwork, and lack of sleep. Mia exhaled, tears springing to her eyes. Ryan, meanwhile, stood frozen. He stared at the report, throat tight. No. Illness? He repeated hoarsely. Dr. Patel nodded firmly. None at all. You just need rest and proper nutrition. There's no such thing as 3 years left like someone told you. Ryan rose slowly, bowing in thanks before leaving. The moment he stepped into the hall, he leaned hard against the wall, drawing a deep breath like a man escaping a nightmare. Mia pressed a hand to his chest. I told you. They set you up. He shut his eyes, gripping her shoulders, voice shaking with anger. Harris? He looked me dead in the eye and said, I had 3 years, nothing but lies. Back at the penthouse, Ryan wasted no time. He called Paul, his most trusted investigator. Dig into Harris. Every payment, every off-hours meeting, especially with Evelyn and Lucas. I want proof. 2 days later, Paul delivered a thick folder. Ryan flipped page after page, his face as cold as ice. Inside were records of wire transfers from a shady account tied to one of Lucas's shell companies, half-encrypted emails, and even photos of Harris dining with Evelyn at a luxury restaurant. Bought off, Ryan hissed through his teeth. My stepmother and Lucas staged the whole damn thing. Mia sat across from him, anger and sorrow surging at once. They wanted you to believe you were dying, to make you step down and hand everything over. It's vile. Ryan clenched his fists, knuckles white. His gaze drifted to Mia's gently rounding belly. His voice broke. I've lived these past months like a man already dying. I prepared to give up everything, to leave Cooper Hotels to Lucas, all because of a lie. Mia clasped his hand tightly, whispering, What matters is, you're not sick. You have me, you have our baby, and now you have proof. Ryan drew a deep breath, a new fire igniting in his eyes. You're right. I'm not sick. And now, it's their turn to be afraid. He stood abruptly, straightening his tie, striding to the window overlooking the glittering city. His reflection no longer carried the exhaustion of a condemned man. Now it was sharp, resolute, and burning with fury. Evelyn, Lucas, you picked the wrong man to deceive. That night, as Ryan sat at the dinner table with Mia and Lily, the air felt lighter. Lily chattered about school, and Mia smiled as she watched them. Ryan stayed mostly silent, but his hand never left Mia's. In his green eyes, there was no despair anymore, only the glint of a counterattack taking shape. The marriage contract had just veered onto an unexpected path. From here, it was no longer only about an heir, but a battle for truth, honor, and the family Ryan would never allow anyone to touch. That afternoon, the grand conference room of Cooper Enterprises glowed under crystal chandeliers. The air was thick with the stiff silence of forced civility. Evelyn sat at the head, wine glass in hand, the picture of a cold, aging queen. Lucas lounged to one side, cocky and restless, his eyes burning with barely contained spite. Ryan entered with Mia at his side. He wore a perfectly tailored black suit, his face like ice, but his eyes blazed with resolve. Mia, in a simple maternity dress, rested her hand lightly on her belly, as if shielding it. What could possibly be so urgent? Evelyn sneered. Or are you here to introduce the newest member of the Cooper family? Lucas snorted, giving Mia a head-to-toe look. Yeah, why not? A waitress turned Mrs. Cooper funniest joke of the century. Mia didn't flinch. She lifted her chin, lips curling with sharp amusement. You must be jealous, talking so much about my job. Funny considering you've never earned a single honest dollar yourself. The room stirred. Lucas's fists clenched, but Ryan raised a hand, voice low and cutting. Insult my wife one more time and I won't hold back. Evelyn let out a high, brittle laugh. Oh, Ryan, how you've changed, from a cold businessman to a lovesick fool. At this rate, you'll lose everything. Ryan turned his gaze to her, sharp as a blade. No, Mother. I nearly lost everything because I trusted your lies. But things are different now. I'm healthy, and I know exactly who bribed Harris. The tension in the room dropped like a stone. Evelyn faltered but forced her chin high. What nonsense! Don't you dare accuse me! Ryan slammed a folder onto the table. Papers scattered, bank statements, photos of Harris dining with Evelyn, and a recording of Lucas's call. These are the facts. You and Lucas bought Harris. You made me believe I was dying, so I'd step aside and clear the path for Lucas. Lucas shot to his feet, face crimson. And you think you deserve Cooper more than me? Just because you were born first? Just because you got the name? I'm as much my father's blood as you. And yet I've spent my life in your shadow. Why? Mia stepped forward half a pace, her voice calm but sharp. Blood doesn't mean much if you need to buy doctors to take down your own brother. If you're so capable, why not prove it with real merit? Lucas's eyes flared red. In his fury, he glanced at Mia's belly, then lunged forward. Let's see how long that baby lasts. Mia froze, instinctively cradling her stomach and stepping back. Enough! Ryan's voice thundered. He leapt in front of Mia, chair crashing over behind him. His words cut like frost. Lay a hand on my wife again, and you'll end up in a hospital bed for real. The air thickened. Lucas halted, trembling, fear flickering through his rage. Evelyn barked sharply, Lucas, stand down! But Ryan wasn't finished. He turned on Evelyn for the first time without restraint. And you're nothing more than a widow living off the Cooper name. Don't forget that. My father built this empire, not you. You sit here only because we've allowed it. Evelyn's face blanched, her glass trembling in her grip. A few board members along the wall exchanged wary glances. Ryan pulled Mia protectively behind him, his arm tight around her waist. His voice lowered, but its authority filled the room. From this day, Mia is my wife, the mother of my child. Touch her, and you touch me. Mia looked up at him, overwhelmed. She had once believed she was just a contract wife, a tool to bear an heir. But now, before their enemies, Ryan declared her openly his wife, the mother of the next Cooper. No one dared speak. Evelyn's lips pressed thin, and Lucas froze like a statue. Ryan led Mia out, each step striking the marble like a war drum heralding a new order. In the hallway, Mia whispered, half teasing, half trembling, You sounded like a real husband back there. Ryan stopped, his eyes softening as he looked at her. I never thought it was fake. Mia laughed through misty eyes, her hand resting over his. Amid lies and schemes, their true bond had begun to shine. Warm, undeniable, impossible to hide any longer. The fiery confrontation within the Cooper family ended with an irreversible outcome. After reviewing the bank transfers and recorded conversations, the board of directors voted unanimously to strip Lucas of his position. Evelyn was removed from all Cooper family charities. Harris was investigated by the medical board and ultimately had his license to practice revoked. An empire once shaken by filthy schemes now stood firm again. And at its center was no longer a cold, lonely CEO, but a man learning how to be a husband and a father. Spring arrived and cherry blossoms bloomed outside the hospital windows. In a bright white room, the first cry of a newborn boy rang out, clear and piercing, like the opening notes of a new chapter. Mia, drenched in sweat but glowing with joy, gripped Ryan's hand. Her voice was hoarse yet radiant. Look, our son! Ryan cradled the tiny infant in his arms, his broad hands trembling as they held the fragile body. His green eyes brimmed red, a rare tear sliding down his cheek. He whispered, You didn't just give me a son, Mia. You gave me a reason to live. Mia looked at him, throat tight. She had never seen this man so vulnerable, so real. Weeks later, the family moved into a white villa on the outskirts of Stamford. The house sat in the middle of a garden, with a wide yard where Lily and the baby would one day be free to run and play. In the mornings, sunlight poured through the curtains. Ryan, once so comfortable with boardrooms, figures, and ruthless contracts, now found himself fumbling over something as simple as changing a diaper. He frowned, clumsily fumbling with the tabs until the diaper came loose and the baby wailed. Lily stood by, laughing uncontrollably. "Big shot CEO, and you can't even beat me at this." Ryan shot her a mock glare but bent back down, patiently trying again. At last, success. He lifted the baby, soothing him with an awkward lullaby in his deep voice. "Sleep now, little treasure. Sleep now." He paused, then let out a self-deprecating laugh. "A CEO singing lullabies. There goes my reputation." From the doorway, Mia wrapped her arm around his shoulders. "You are terrible at it," she teased softly, then smiled tenderly. "But it makes me feel warm." Ryan turned to look at her, his eyes glowing with peace. He knew his reputation in business might rise and fall, but nothing could shake the love within this home. In the afternoons, the family gathered on the porch. Mia brewed tea, Lily played tic-tac-toe with Ryan on the tiles, and the baby slept soundly in the cradle. Cicadas buzzed, and the jasmine scent drifted on the breeze. Ryan, who had once lived alone in a cold penthouse, now found his peace in the laughter of Mia and Lily, in the soft breathing of his son, in the open affection shining from his wife's eyes. He looked at the scene and thought, this is the real legacy. Not glass towers, not billion-dollar contracts, this family. Meanwhile, Lucas and Evelyn were erased from the board. They had no place left in the company, no power, no prestige. Harris's name was dragged through the papers, a disgraceful cautionary tale in medicine. But in the villa outside Stamford, a new family was writing their own story. Ryan held his son. Mia leaned her head on his shoulder. Lily darted across the yard, her laughter ringing bright. Golden honey light of dusk bathed the rooftop. Ryan bent down, kissed his wife's forehead, and whispered, "I once thought I only had 3 short years. But because of you, I have a lifetime." Mia squeezed his hand gently, her smile radiant. In that moment of peace, there were no schemes, no fear, only love, laughter, and a complete family, the most precious legacy Ryan Cooper would ever know.